It was literally lightning in a bottle.
It was a huge risk. You have mortgaged your home to pay.
It was heavy,
And I thought, oh my gosh.
We were always on call, never off duty, and kind of that's what it took really.
And at the time I was furious. I was thinking, oh my goodness me.
I knew then we were a big player in the market. The legacy of the company now will outsee me and Faith. Reaching 20 years to me, it's a phenomenal achievement.
I think I always knew that I wanted to support schools and lift standards.
20 years ago, seems a long time now. Who would imagine 20 years later really, but it's been an incredible journey.
When you first start a business, you give it 100%, but then you look constantly, maybe a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line.
It's just a number. It's literally just a number.
Poly Teaching Services started in 2006. I was teaching at the time. Then my brother was working within recruitment.
So I went to visit Faith on a Thursday, I think it was, back in 2006, maybe in May.
I really liked the business side, the people side. And myself and my brother just sat down one day and I said, I'd really like to open this.
We literally had the idea. By the following Monday, we were open and trading. It was literally lightning in a bottle.
It was a huge risk. It was a risk for my husband who basically had to lend us the money.
It happened so quickly, but it was just meant to be, I think.
But as I say, when I just knew that I enjoyed running a business, because I'd already been doing it with my husband, I saw a niche. My brother was working sort of in education at the time.
So I came with the experience and expertise. I hadn't worked in recruitment, and Faith came from the education sides.
I understood what the teachers would want. I understood what the pupils would want, and I understood what the schools would want. And I think that is something you can only ever know if you've done the job.
I was very successful in acquiring schools and recruiting staff, and then it just came easy to me, to be honest.
Well, our very, very first office was sort of an annex that my husband had built for us.
She calls it an annex, I call it a garage, but we kitted it out. I had Windows 95 on a PC that barely turned on. I had the pay-as-you-go mobile, and we just run it out of there.
We were working at this point 12, 14, 15 hours a day. I think it was really eating into home life, particularly because I had 3 young children when I set the business up.
We grew quite quickly, and we grew out of that. I mean, I would have still been in the first office now, but Faith kind of drove us to getting our own serviced office.
I remember my husband coming in one day and saying, right, you actually have to get an office and you have to move out. And at the time I was furious. I was thinking, oh my goodness me, you know, we've got to try and pay for an office now.
And then we kind of employed more people and worked with them, and yeah, grew from there.
It was probably the best thing that my husband could have done, was actually saying, you know, you have to go, you have to make that next step. And I think his knowledge of business and pushing us out to the door, that was really the start of the journey, I would say.
I mean, the biggest challenge was we were a new company, people hadn't heard of us, so the amount of sales and drive we had to have to kind of get our name out there was, it was heavy.
I think when you suddenly have a business where you have mortgaged your home to pay and finance that company, you are carrying that as a backpack. Everywhere you go, there is a fear.
7 days a week for maybe the first 5-6 years. And that was it. We were always on call, never off duty, and kind of that's what it took really to drive the business.
I remember running a payroll before I went on holiday. Back then I was doing that myself. It was like a 1 in a million moment where all direct debits failed. I think I was in Fuerteventura at the time, and I thought, oh my gosh. I rang the bank and they were like, no, you've got to manually input these people again. So I remember I've got 3 young children, all crying for mum to be out in the pool with them. And basically I had to find a place I could go that was secure, and I had to sit in a room. And I think because it was an individual process, not automated, I think I probably spent about 13 hours on a holiday day paying everybody that needed paying before I could get on with my holiday.
As soon as we reached the kind of 1,000 placements a week mark regularly, I knew then we were a big player in the market.
I think probably when we had Cardiff branch open, Swansea branch open, and maybe Pontypridd, that was when I kind of started feeling really proud.
It was very clear to know how we were expanding by the amount of people that were working with us, so we employed, but also the amount of offices we had around. It was extremely stressful, but also equally extremely rewarding at the same time, and fun. That's, I think, something which I'm most proud of in Apollo. We made it fun and enjoyable environment for people to work on.
Oh, that's better.
See?
I can feel that then.
Yeah, I know.
Well done.
See?
Yeah.
Me and Faith actually started working together when we were about 6, 7 years old, delivering milk.
Yeah, we
on
did.
our father's milk round.
Lee brings constant energy, positivity. He's probably one of the nicest people that I know. I'm not just saying that as a sister, I would say just generally cares about everyone in the world, actually, animals, people. He's just an incredibly nice person. He's also very driven, comes up with a lot of innovative new ideas, and he brings a lot of energy, I think, to everyone that he meets. So he inspires a lot of the sales team.
Faith is the...
It's so boring now.
No. She is... I mean, if you asked everybody in Apollo who the boss is, Faith's the boss. She is the backbone through the business that keeps it running, the heart and soul of it all. So she keeps everybody on track and is very firm but very fair as well. And I think that's something maybe is an older or first child thing where they follow the rules a bit more, whereas I'm second child syndrome of bending the rules slightly sometimes.
There's no bending with me.
There's no bending rules.
There's a zero tolerance for bending.
So she's very firm, very fair, very caring, and you know, she's the MD at the end of the day. She's the one who runs it all. We were always close. We had a close family growing up. We trust each other implicitly. How many arguments have we had in 20 years? 2?
Since I beat you in a karate competition in
1988.
In 1988, that set the scale for it all then, to be honest.
It set the scale.
We haven't always agreed on everything because I think Lee comes from more probably of a sales side, whereas I'm coming probably more from the teaching side. So I think I'm probably a little bit more of a worrier than you are. You sort of take things a little bit sort of more in your stride, whereas I worry about detail to a point of crazy. But that does always work quite well, I think.
The calm and the storm. For me, opening up a business was far less risk, but Faith had 3 children, all under 5. For a young, family to risk, a punt really with her brother who hadn't really deserved that sort of chance was special, and I think it was just destined to happen. I think trust and faith in each other, in each other's decision and ability. There have been times when maybe I wasn't in the business, having children and things, and similarly with Faith, with her having a 4th child, and obviously Anthony who helped us enormously set up the Apollo. He was ill obviously over the last year. The ability to trust each other that the business running smoothly when the other one's not there. I think that was a great thing.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Anthony's name then, because he was such a huge part.
Tony was special.
Yeah. I think around 22,000 that have come into Apollo, begun and started work, and then they've got a permanent job in a school. I take a lot of, because that was something I've been championing for a long time, so I was really glad to introduce that.
Yes, nearly all of our core schools that we worked with are still there and using us. And we've seen maybe 4 to 5 change of headships in them times in them schools. So that's most probably the sign for me.
Every single thing matters to me. I just love to know exactly what is going on. If someone's not happy, I want to know. If somebody is happy, if a teacher is unhappy, whatever that will be, I want to know what's always happening in the reality of the company and never be so far removed that I don't hear that. Because it does still physically pain me if someone doesn't have a good experience with the company, even now.
I know, it does.
Yeah, because we've made some mistakes along the way.
We've made loads of mistakes.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
The creative, loose cannon has made loads. Faith made maybe 1 or 2.
But we've learned from everything.
Yes.
So I think our progression into England will take a different form this time. I think we're a quarter of what we want to be. I think we need to move with the times because recruitment has changed so much over the past sort of 20 years we've been doing it, that we have to be at the cutting edge of that. Do you know, for me, it's probably getting it ready for life without us. I think we will always be. No, I think I think we'll always be a part of it, but you have to constantly plan for this succession, and I think that's what we've always done.
Yes.
So, yes, we're always love Apollo and we're always going to be part of it. But I also think it has to be able to function. And I think particularly because I lost my husband recently, it just makes you realise you have to make sure your business is everything proof.
Yes. Faith is exactly right. The company has grown to such a size, it's beyond, the legacy of the company now will outsee me and Faith. So, you know, and that's kind of, it's exciting, but it's also a little bit humbling in a way where the company is now bigger than the sum of the owners that started it. I mean, I'll be a brain in a jar with acoustics coming off it going, are we placing the right person faster and stop them there? I mean, I will be 100 being wheeled in for directors meetings, hopefully.
Well, I've always said, you know, when you get to the point where you're more of a hindrance than a plus, someone has to tell us.
Yes.
Someone has to tell us.
Somebody has to have the wherewithal to go, you're too old, go.
Faith, it's time now that you perhaps enjoyed life a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
20 years of being open is far more than me and Lee. Your time here has built the company to this, and we sit here as representatives of something which is way bigger than us now.
Yeah.
It is every single person that has ever worked here in any way, whether you are here or whether you've left and moved on. I appreciate every single thing that every single person ever brought to the company. Every bit of feedback, everything. Thank you very much.